Word. Evelyn Earl, thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming in, guys. Honey gets money. I get money. I get money. Honey gets money. 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 Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Tina Dej? Man? Honey gets money. Yeah, that was funny. That's right. I get it. I run New York. Tina D. Hey, Tina D. Hey, Tammy Lorraine. Thank you for sharing. I caught some. I think it was a scope or something you had on Facebook. I caught a little piece of that, so that was good. Hey, Songs of Charisma. DeLeon, my man, he's here. Upward Action. Thank you for joining. The Mook. That's right. Hey, I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Mazoom 9. What's going on, Jamel? Love your scopes too, bro. I've been catching your stuff. Financial guy. What up? I sound like E.T. the hip hop preacher. Elisa Gunn. How's it going, Alicia? It's been a long time. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for inviting people. I'm well. I am good, man. I'm blessed. I'm happy. That's someone at Tara Tate the Great. You're awesome. Mark, Wingonomics. I hope you're studying. I hope that's going well for you, bro. Thanks for coming on here. Do me a favor. I always ask people, to invite your followers. Thank you, Tara Tate the Great. I'm glad you're doing better. I always tell people, invite your followers, invite your friends, and then give me a ton of hearts. And that's kind of what the goal is in these scopes. I try to go on other people's scopes and do the same thing. So hopefully you guys can help me out with the same. I just left the office. I'm not driving, in case people are wondering. See, I got the seatbelt off. Boom. For people who don't know who I am, my name is Ebong Eka. I'm a CPA. I'm a speaker, TEDx speaker, and I'm also the author of the best-selling business book, Start Me Up, The No Business Plan, Business Plan. Met you at Jared Entrepreneur. Oh, yes. Hey, Jamila. Yes, I do remember you. I think we sat next to each other, like right next to each other. Either right next to each other or you were one, there's somebody in between us. I remember that. At that pizza place, that pizza joint. Yes, I do remember that. We were supposed to connect. Kevin Madison, he's the man. If you're trying to find, Kevin Madison's my money mentor. I consider him like a money mentor. I'm trying to be like George Jefferson. You all too young for the Jeffersons, but Kevin Madison is like George Jefferson to me. I'm trying to move on up to the deluxe apartment in the sky, right? So the key is to follow people and find people who are doing good things in your experience so that you can learn from them and learn from their successes and their mistakes and get it in the process. So, Kevin Madison is my George Jefferson. Yes, moving on up. I'm telling you, this dude, this guy's a multi-million-dollar business owner, just killing it in the game. He's on Periscope just hanging out. This is like what he does for fun. So, follow him, follow his stuff. He always has some deep thoughts. Your brain will melt, come out of your ears. That's what will happen. So, I wanted to share today. I want to talk to you today about work-life balance, right? And the idea of that. And there's a lot of people always talking about the idea of work-life balance. Hey, how's it going, Lo? Gorgeous. Conqueror Fit. That's right. I think you gave me some advice on Twitter. Somebody on Twitter. So I appreciate that too. Yes, honey gets money. Kevin Madison is the man. Honey gets money. Yeah, thanks for the feedback, Conqueror Fit. I appreciate that. I'm gonna reach out to that person, a videographer. So real quickly, I want to talk to you guys about work-life balance. And a lot of people talk about that, regardless of where you're at. Hey, talk to Amber. Thank you for joining my scope, Amber. A lot of people always talk about how there's work-life balance is important. People in your life will tell you work-life balance is important. They'll tell you, you need to find balance. You need to do recreation. You need to hang out. You need a balance of stuff. But you have to realize and remember, I believe that is all bullshit. I know I sound kind of, it sounds a little much for me to say, but I say it for effect. I don't say it just because I like to talk crazy. I say bullshit for effect. So I wanted you guys to get it. When people talk about work-life balance, a lot of times they're not on their purpose. And here's an example. When you were a child, remember when you were a child, right? You played all day long. You played all the time. You were constantly playing. You played until your legs hurt, right? You played until your parents had to come and drag you home. If you look at animals, if you have a dog, when I had a dog, my dog ran around in circles. He played all the time. I threw the ball for him. He kept playing until he was so tired, and then another need came in, like he was hungry or he needed to get water. Kids will play until they fall out, right? And so the thing is this: when you're on your purpose, it's not work. When you're on your purpose, there's no need for balance. When you're on your purpose, when you're doing something that you know inside of you that you really want to do, you're not talking about purpose. You're not talking about balance. You're not saying, I need to take a break. You're not saying things like, I need to go on vacation and go sit on the beach. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. But don't try not to tell ourselves a story that we need work-life balance, because you know deep down inside in your heart, there's no way in hell you'd rather be doing something else than whatever it is your heart is set on doing. Exactly, Mizoom, that's right. And so 10X everything, part of that is focusing on what you're supposed to be focused on, focusing on what you know is better for your life. So what happens with work-life balance is we'll say things that work-life balance, and then we start settling. We tell ourselves this story that work-life balance is important. We say we need to balance our lives. I need to hang out. I need to go go bowling. That is great, but the reality is that people who are enjoying those types of activities, chances are they don't have a bigger purpose. Now you may agree or disagree. It doesn't really matter. I'm just talking from my experience and from the experience of people like you guys. This is resonating with you guys. I can tell you guys are feeling the same thing. And again, people you'll meet, people you'll know, they'll say they'll say the same thing. They'll say, oh, you need to chill. You need to hang out. Why don't you come party over here? Again, the difference is they quit, right? And they're trying to bring you with them so they don't feel as bad. And they may look at you and say, oh, all you're doing is you work too much. Work too much. Unless you're Warren Buffett, there's no such thing. There's a reason why he got to that place. Now, I'm not trying to say that's what you need to aspire to, but again, looking at making money, it's about fuel units, right? When you hear somebody say, how much is enough, right? You worry too much about money. They don't have money. I guarantee you they don't, right? They're just saying that because they want to feel better for not taking the chances and not for taking the time to work on their craft and their skill and to get themselves to the level that they know they should be, right? So if you think of it this way, a lot of people will say things like that. They'll say, how much money is enough? Why do you work so hard? You need to chill. You need balance. I understand it's a little bit different when you have children. They need to be taken care of when you have babies. There are a lot of people worried about work-life balance. They don't have babies. They don't even have a dog to take care of, right? It's just them and themselves. They're single. And they're talking crazy about work-life balance. And they haven't accomplished anything, right? You rest when you've done something. Right? Even in the Bible, it says when you're done, you do work, and then it pleases you when you look at what you've done. That's where you get pleasure from it, right? And our brains have this in our chemistry, in our minds. That when you get pleasure from success, you get pleasure from accomplishment, you get pleasure from doing things right, you get pleasure from checking off a task, even as something as simple as making your bed or washing some dishes. You feel good for a split second. That happens all the time. The same thing happens when you're trying to get to another place, another level. Oh, thank you so much, dear Leon. When you're trying to get to that next level, it's the same thing. There's pleasure in progress, right? And because that's part of the process you're supposed to go through in order to get to that great level. There's pleasure from completion. Exactly. Like that's where it comes. That's where it all comes from, right? So when somebody's saying, when you meet a lot of people who are successful, I met people who are worth 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. A lot of times to them, they're not talking about money anymore. They weren't talking about money when they only had 2 million. They were talking about, how can I be better? How can I push myself how can I get to my level of potential, right? The people who are successful in life understand that there's a gap. I agree with you, Upper Action is biblical. The people who are successful in life, and I'm not just talking monetarily, they realize that there's a gap. The gap is basically where you are now and where you know you could be, right? I know that I'm not an NBA player. There's no gap there. That's not even a discussion, right? There's certain things that you know, when you know that you have certain potentials to get to a certain level. Getting to that level is the whole purpose. Getting to that level is part of your purpose, part of the reason why you exist, to do what you're doing, part of realizing your gifts and giving your gifts to the universe and to the world. That's how it works. And so when you're on your purpose, you're not thinking about balance and work life and all any of that nonsense, right? Those are for people who are okay with being average, who are okay with settling, and who are okay with the life that they're living. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with those people existing in this world. I have no problem with somebody who wants to work 9 to 5. That is fine for them. I thank them. I say, look, you've made a decision. That's great. Most people don't make decisions. They let other people make decisions for them. So they go work somewhere they don't like, and their bosses make decisions for them, or people that they do business with make decisions for them. And you have an opportunity to take control of your own, not only the economic environment, financial environment, your spiritual, your mental, your physical environment. You have a responsibility for that. There's no one else who's going to help. There's no one else who's going to help you get out of that. And so the key is very simple. Just ran 3 miles tomorrow, doing 3 more. Hey, you're a monster. You run more than I do, man. I should be playing basketball right now. Instead, I'm scoping and working. Work all day, start all, yes, rinse and repeat. Repeat and complete. That's what it is. And they complain about being, exactly, songs of charisma. People complain about being unhappy, right? And then they don't take the steps to they're not unhappy enough. You got to look at it this way too. Our situations, where we are I said this in a previous clip, where we are emotionally will dictate our happiness. And so if you're okay, if you can explain away why you're not where you need to be, if you can come up with the reasons, or you can tell yourself a narrative or a story internally, your brain won't allow you to push through to that next level. Plain and simple. If you're in a situation, right, if you're homeless, if you're about to go homeless and they're about to come take your car, then you start grinding, you start hustling. But the key is, the thing with successful people versus those who don't get to the level, get to their potential, is that successful people always find a way to push themselves and behave like they're almost going homeless. It's not from a place of fear. It's not from a place of reality. Their reality has become whatever they want it to be. Exactly, Neely. Hey, thanks for coming on here, Neely. The pain isn't strong enough, isn't deep enough, it's not hurting them enough. They're okay. And look, I want you to understand this. You guys need to get this from me too. I do the same thing myself, okay? Sometimes I settle. There are things that should have been gotten out by now. I have a course that I'm working on. It should have been released at least a month ago, and it's not. And so as I'm saying this to you guys, I'm saying it to myself. I'm saying it to myself. They have a why for what they do. Exactly. I have a why, but sometimes when things are going well, I get comfortable. When things are going well, you get comfortable. You say, tomorrow, next week, Friday. Next thing you know, you're going on a trip. Next thing you know, the vacations come. Next thing you know, there's holidays. Next thing you know, someone say, come to my party. Someone's saying, let's go to the movies. Let's go chill over here. All your days just keep like water going down a faucet. You can't get the water back, right? That's what time is. Time is water going down the drain. You can't get that back, regardless, no matter what you do, it's gone. And so the key is simple. This is why income here. Yeah, man. Hey, thank you so much, Kevin. Man, Kevin's inspiration. I'm telling you, you need to follow what he says and follow what he's talking about. And it's to let you guys know that work-life balance is bullshit. It's made up. It's a story that we're telling ourselves to give people some semblance of benefits. So a lot of companies say work-life balance because that's supposed to entice you to go work for them. And when you go work for them, you're working 70 hours a week. And then they're telling you it's work-life balance. What are you talking about right now? When I used to work at some of the largest public accounting firms, that's one of the first things they tell us. Work-life balance, work-life balance. Work-life balance is great. I'd go do all that crap, right? I go join. I'm traveling all over the country doing 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week. Where's my balance? And so what's the point? So if I'm going to work 60, 70 hours a week for these jokers, why not work 60, 70 hours a week for something I want to work on? Where I'm going to get paid, where I'm going to get money. Right? And so that's the key. And there's no such thing. At the end of the day, they can tell you work-life balance all they want. But as long as somebody is cutting you a check, you're beholden to them, period. Right? I'm not talking about clients because you can control that situation if you start off early. I'm talking about, as an employer. So being an employee to an employer. So I want you to understand this. If you're a business owner, you want to be a business owner, I want you to think about what your purpose is. The key is very simple. You need to revisit your goals. I tell you guys all the time, you need to revisit your goals once a week. Go through it. Write them down. I use Evernote on my phone. I use Evernote on my desktop. I got a notebook. I'm constantly writing my goals and revisiting them. I gotta push myself, right? Rewriting your goals down and revisiting them is very similar to you planting a rose in your garden, right? The weeds are going to come. The weeds are going to be there. Weeds are coming. The rodents are coming. The rabbits are coming, eat some of the bulbs. They're going to do all that stuff. Nature is nature, right? You may get sick. You may not feel well. All that. That's nature is nature. But in the same token, me writing my goals down, taking incremental steps towards my vision and to my dreams is imperative. That is akin and similar to you watering that rose, giving it plant food, giving it proper sunlight, pruning the leaves and trees around it so that it can get all the nutrients it deserves. And then at the end, when harvest time comes, you're going to have a beautiful, beautiful blooming rose. The same thing happened with your dreams and goals. You got to take incremental steps. Too many people, there are a lot of people, some of you guys may be on this scope right now, who want to take shortcuts. I'm not talking about paying for shortcuts. That's like hiring people and buying books and buying courses. I'm talking about taking shortcuts, not based on experience or reality. Just saying, I need to be put on. Trying to find somebody to put me on something. It's not going to work that way. You got to do the work at the end of the day. Something as simple as not writing it down kept me, yeah, exactly, Neely. I had the same thing. See, like, you guys got to understand is when I'm giving these nuggets of information about different random topics, majority of the time, it's me. I've gone through the same thing. I'm literally just sharing what I experienced, and I'm seeing a lot of people are having the same experience, and I'm telling you what worked for me to get out of it. Exactly. Another thing, understand what you don't control. And the best thing for me to do is you need to remind your brain. Again, I've told you guys this story before. Your brain, right? Your brain is your best friend for keeping you alive. It's your worst enemy for helping you achieve your dreams and goals. You got to understand, you got to get it. That's why somebody like some successful person, you look at Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, 25, 30 years ago with Michael Jordan, people don't realize this. He was so competitive. People operate life like it's silos, but it's not. Everything bleeds into each other. If you're competitive on basketball, you're competitive in golf, you're competitive in life, you're competitive with checkers, you're competitive with chess, you're competitive with Connect Four. It doesn't matter what you're playing. If you're trying to win in one area, you cannot shut it off because you think it's a different situation. So Michael Jordan was playing. Why do you think he was gambling like a crazy person? Why do you think he was playing golf and gambling? He wanted to win. And one way to measure win, in his case, was spending money and gambling. So you guys got to get it. So for me, I can't go from doing all this crazy stuff to go play basketball and to try to go to college and then do that to try and start a business. Like, there's no way. It doesn't stop. That's who we are. So we have to understand that you have to find a way. Hey, what's going on, Rand 130? I haven't seen you in a minute, man. It's been a while. And we've all gone through this. So you have to find a way to literally trick your brain into getting it on your team so that you can go after your dreams and your goals. You need to write your dreams down every single time. The advice you gave about 4 a.m. Yes, that's awesome. And that's why when you first wake up, you got to do the best thing. You got to do the most important things in the morning, whatever it is. And whether you get up and jog, whatever it is, because you need to be in the best place where you can be the most productive. In some cases, you may not be able to, work right away. That is fine. Get up, write a goal down, get up, spend 5 minutes to meditate, just to think about what you want. That's all you need to do. And here's why. When people talk about the law of attraction, they make the mistake and think about it in a simplistic truth. They think when somebody says the law of attraction, they think, if I believe it, it'll come. That is what a lazy person thinks, right? That's what the average person thinks. But the reality is the law of attraction is getting your mind to a place where you believe what you need to do is possible. That's what it really means. So if you're thinking, is it possible for me to get this business, to get this client, to pass this exam, to pass this test, whatever it is, when that happens, right, the law of attraction is telling your brain that whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, where you're not at right, where you currently are, is not where you will stay. And where you want to go is where you can be. That's what the law of attraction really means. That's what it's meant to mean, right? So when you hear people talk about the secret, the law of attraction, they say it in disparaging terms. They're being lazy, intellectually lazy. Believe what I need to do. Believe what I need to do is possible. Exactly. That's basically how you look at it. You got to believe what you need to do is possible. Because if you don't, hey, what's going on, Destiny? If you don't believe it, you will never do it, and you won't do the incremental things to get there. Let go and let God means you're waiting for me to do the work. Exactly. When people say stuff like that, oh, let God handle it. When they say let God handle it, that means you put the belief that it's possible in the hands of God. But it also means you got to do your part, right? There's a saying, it's not in the Bible, but there's a saying that God helps those who help themselves. Because you need to play a role in what happens to you, right? You have to play a role in that. And Jim Rohn always says one of the highest forms of maturity is accepting full responsibility for what happens to you, both good and bad. Faith without works is dead. Exactly. That's a good one, Sons of Charisma. And so the key is this. You play a role in what you're doing in life, regardless of what it is. Otherwise, I can just sit and chill and wait for life to come to me. And that never happens. Never in the Bible does it ever say something for people to sit around and just chill. Hey, Hope. What I said about 4 a.m. is basically getting up early. So what your brain does, Hope, is when you wake up, they say, scientists have said, and also through studies, you can also Google this, that your brain is most productive within the first 2 to 3 hours of when you wake up. And so the key is simple. If you wake up late, you may end up starting your day late. So the key is try to wake up as early as possible. But you want to do this incrementally. You don't want to automatically if you get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to automatically just get up at 4 and start doing that. It's very difficult to do, and eventually your willpower may wane. Okay, you go to sleep too late. Maybe you eat the wrong foods before you go to sleep, and then your willpower may wane. It's true. I just had neurotherapy, and that's what they said. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, thank you, Tara. That's awesome. I read it. I can't remember where I read it from, but I know I read it. As some of you guys know, I read a lot, and so basically, the first 2 to 3 hours of when you wake up is when you're at your most productive, your sharpest, everything else. And that's basically why I try to get up. When I get up, I write. When I get up, I'm doing something that's pushing me a little closer to my goals. That's why I write mostly. Exactly. That's awesome. Songs of charisma. So we all need. No, you don't need to wake up at 4. I just used 4 as an example back then. But the key is being more cognizant of your time. Having a sense of urgency in what you're trying to accomplish, because the mistake we make is it's going back to thinking about being average. We allow our brains to tell us everything's going to be all right. You don't need to grind. Why do you need to grind? Make 50,000 a year. It's okay. Make 50,000. Oh, if you're making 100, make 100,000. You're straight. Just do that. Don't. Why are you trying to make 300? Why are you trying to make 500 to $1 million? Just do the 100 and just chill. And so your brain wants you to be comfortable, and it makes everything in your life feel that way so that you're comfortable. Thank you so much, man, Mazoom. Hey, that's awesome, man. Fist bump to my man, Mazoom9. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining me as always, man. Yeah, peace out, man. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna let you guys go. I've been ramming it on for a little bit, but I just want to remind you guys that, basically, work-life balance is bullshit, and you don't want to get in a situation where you start settling, right? Take a look at I want you guys to do this too. Go to the dictionary and look and see what the definition of average is. Average basically means damaged goods. Catch a replay, yes, Destiny. Hey, Destiny, catch upon the replay. And so basically, average is damaged goods, right? You get used to being uncomfortable. Right, that's when the change happens. That's when the growth happens. Right, that's when the doors open. That's when you create personal boundaries. Everything starts opening up for you when you become uncomfortable, because it forces your body to adapt, but also forces your body to think more creatively about what you deserve to get, what you desire to be, and who you desire to be as well in the process. So you got to remember that. I'm not saying it's always okay to be uncomfortable. If you go to the gym to lift, you got to tear your muscles. You don't get big at the gym. You get big a couple days later when your muscles are repairing, right? When you're trying to make change, you got to remember, life is about transformation and transportation. There's two things. Life is transformation and transportation. Transformation really means that there's change. Everything in life, biologically speaking, everything in life, there's a change to that. But transportation, there's also movement, and movement in not only in time, but in what you're doing. So remember, life is about transformation and transportation. So both of those things have to be in your life in order to get to where you're trying to go. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Hutch is online. When we're at our lowest point, we're open to the... Exactly. What's all this BS about? Christian Kata's in the house, my man. Christian Kata is a great dude. He interviewed me. Thank you so much, Hutch is online. I want to get a heart attack. I mean, not really a heart attack, but give me some hearts in the process. Hutch is online is awesome. Check him out. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the love. Thank you for sharing this with your audience. Christian Kata is the man. I had a great conversation with him last week. He's a guy. He's a dope. Hey, Chief Keef. Yes, yes. Thanks for being on my scope, man. You might have to catch a replay because I'm about to wrap it. Basically, the whole point of the scope, a quick recap, let you guys know who are new on here. My name is Abong Eka. I'm a CPA. I'm also a speaker, TEDx speaker. I'm the author of the best-selling business book, Start Me Up, the No Business Plan, Business Plan. And I'm also the Prince of Pricing, where I work with entrepreneurs, both online and offline, to help them set their prices and then raise their prices so that they can maximize their profits. Today's scope, I want to tell you, I want to holler at y'all. Today's scope was about how work-life balance is bullshit. And if you have an issue with work-life balance, it's because you're not on your purpose. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not doing what the universe has given you. You're not using your gifts, and your gifts and your goals are not aligned, right? Usually, Destiny, I come on around 7 o'clock my time. And so the key is this. You got to get this last point that I'm sharing with you guys. You got to get it that if you're worried about work-life balance, if you're worried about taking breaks and I have to vacation and party and all that stuff, if that's what's going on in your mind, you're not where you want to be in life. Plain and simple. My time zone is Eastern. Yes, TEDx and the Prince of Pricing. If you do not like where you are, right, then you want to escape. So people are drugs, boozing all the time, addictive behavior, petty, poor emotions is because they're not happy where they are. When your circle of concerns, when your circle of problems are so small, little things will affect you. Little things like somebody talked crazy to me, somebody was mean to me, someone at work said this about me. Gossip. You gossip all the time. You're reading tabloids. You're wasting your time. You don't appreciate the importance of having your time. Those are the things that happen to people who have a very small circle of concern. I want to remind you, those same kinds of people care a lot about work-life balance. It's bullshit. When you're on your purpose, when you're on your mission in life, when you're doing what you really want to do, I don't care if you're Mother Teresa, I don't care if you're the guy doing something down here locally in your city. I don't care if you're trying to build a business. I don't care if you're a coach. I don't care whatever you're doing. You got to understand. You got to get it, please. You got to understand. You got to find your purpose. Why are you here? Your reason for being, your reason for living, your reason for sharing your gifts. I'm going to give you a quick little tip and I'm going to leave. First of all, give me some hearts. Please give me some hearts. The second thing is really simple. You got to get it. Your purpose, if you're looking for your purpose, you can't do the class I want to do because my job, thinking about dumping the job, but damn the money. I understand what you're saying, Ram 130. You got to find out what's more important to you. If there's a class you want to do, you need to take a look and see how can I get the money so that I can take care of this class? And you have to answer this question. Only you can answer it. You got to answer this question. The question you can answer is, will this class get me closer to where I'm supposed to be going? That's it. And if the answer is yes, you need to figure out what are the steps. If you do not create the steps, you can forget about it. Everything you do won't work, right? Thank you so much, Christian. I love that. Motivation is a spark, and inspiration is a slow burn that keeps you going. That's basically it. So Ram 130, you need to find out if you take this class, you make a decision to take the class, you have to be able to document the steps you have to take in order to get to where you want to go. That takes care of you, right? You got to answer those questions. If you can't answer those questions, then you got to figure something out. Now, look, this is how you find your purpose. There's a very succinct way of finding your purpose. Your purpose is the intersection of your gifts and your goals. So wherever your gifts and goals intersect, that's what your purpose is. That's the reason why you're on this planet. That's the reason why you're on this earth. When your goals and your gifts intersect, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing with your time, most of your energy, most of your resources. That's it. If you're worried about resources, you're not being resourceful. And Tony Robbins always says it's important for you to be resourceful with what you have. Because if you're not resourceful with what you have, you will never get more than that. Period. That's it. So wherever your goals and gifts intersect, that is the intersection of your purpose. It will be so clear to you, it will reveal itself. Financial goals, any type of whatever your goals are, financially, spiritually, mentally, whatever your goals are, you find out where your gifts are, and that's how you find a way to make money. Plain and simple. Find out what excites you, and what excites you, gets you excited. I love that. Yes, you got to think about that. In this case, Hope D. Garrett, if you're trying to get a financial goal, there's something you have. There's some experience, expertise. There's something you have in your life that people will pay you money for. That's it. Music, tech, whatever it is. And then if it's music and tech computers, Narrow that down. Find out what you can do that no one else can do. Not no one else, but a lot of people can't do, and find out how to do that. Yes, Cash the replay. I appreciate that. But you got to think about it, because if you don't, what will happen, Ram 130? You will continue working at that job, and 10 years later, you'll say to yourself, I wish I could have. I should have done this. I could have, would have, done. And that's all that's going to happen. You guys got to process this. You guys got to get this. Purpose is the intersection of your gifts and goals, exactly. And you guys got to get this. Most people's lives, and I say this with complete humility and appreciative of the world, but you got to understand this. Most people's lives, right, are going to be mediocre and average. You got to process this. I'm not trying to be mean or whatever else. It's going to be mediocre and average, and they're going to accept it, and they're going to live a life of quiet desperation, as Les Brown says, and a life of mediocrity. Most people's lives are like that. You got people in your life that you know are like that. Some of us have flirted with that type of living, right? And so you got to understand it. That's exactly what's going to happen to a lot of people. It's not a bad thing. That's their decision. That's fine. I'm not making fun of them. But I want to remind you that you have what you need to get to where you need to go. You have the ability to succeed. All you have to do is like reach out and grab it out of you, right? Or choose an area, study it in depth, become a subject matter. Exactly. Songs of charisma, right? Christian's right too. You can be exceptional or average, but you can't be both. Exactly. Nobody likes average. Average is damaged goods. Check the dictionary for that one. Average originally started as a description for damaged goods. Who wants to be damaged goods? I don't. There's nothing wrong. There's no nobility in poverty. There's no nobility in being average and being like everyone else. There's nothing wrong with grinding, trying to get more money, right? Because again, I like to call these fuel units. Ty Lopez also calls these fuel units. You know why? Because there's a difference between this, right? The person who flies in a jet has fuel units. There's also a person who drives in a car. And there's another person who uses fuel units. There's another person who uses fuel units for their motorcycle. And then someone uses fuel units for their bike. They're all great modes of transportation, but you can't go very far in a bike. You can go a lot farther with a plane, right? And so if you're trying to get to what you really want in life, you got to make a decision to figure that out. Figure out what you want. Figure out how I can get my fuel units, how I can get my money up so that I can live the life that I deserve, desire, and prosper. You can't help other people if you're broke like they are. Someone's asking you for money, you can't lend it. If you got parents you got to take care of, you can't take care of them, right? You got a charity you care about, you can't help. There's only so many hours in a day you can volunteer, right? Money exponentially changes the equation. So I'm not saying when you hear people say the root of all money is root of all evil, they're lazy, they quit, and they're broke. Period. You need to avoid those people. When someone says ridiculous, simplistic truths, that's not really how it works. Or money won't make you happy. What does that have to do with anything? One has nothing to do with the other, right? Again, nobody can stand average. Nobody likes average. You don't like average. Do you want to be with an average person, an average partner, an average job, average income? Nobody wants it. So why are we allowing ourselves to be average? How about getting out of the debt you created knowingly? What about it, Ram One? Hey, do that, right? This is all part of your process. So part of your process is finding out this is a plan you got to create. You have to be able to identify, hey, Chem Goddess, good to see you here. You got to identify, how can I get money? What do I need to do in order to get my life, get my game up, right? I understand in some cases you got to feed children, you got a household to take care of, everything else, right? Be super ordinary. Ordinary sucks. But but you know what I'm saying? And so Ram 130, it's like you have, but the thing is taking the steps towards what you want will give you the inspiration to keep going. I guarantee you that. Because when you get a little bit of success, incremental success, Ram 130, that's when you start to get excited about the next level, right? That's when you get excited about, oh, I can really accomplish this. And your brain starts to believe you. There's a saying I always say, your brain wants proof, not promises. You can say all the promises you want in the world. When I give speeches, I ask people what their goals are. Everybody has their hand up. Everybody has a goal. The second question I ask them is, how close are they to their goal? And one or two people put their hand up out of a room of 20, 30, 50 people, right? And so the key is simple. Everybody has dreams. Everybody has goals. But the question is, when you wake up in the morning, what sort of effort are you putting towards it, right? If having a goal was enough, then everybody would be living the lives they want. But having a goal is not enough. So the key is after we have that goal, it's figuring out the system to get to that next level and having that little incremental modicum of success. That's all I'm trying to tell you guys. And so, again, you must take action. As small as it can be, you must take action. Lao Tzu from thousands and thousands of years ago said, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. This is like 3,000 years ago. It still applies today. If you have a dream in your heart, you need to take the time to focus on it just a little bit and see what you can do to get there. That's all it takes. You see what I'm saying? And so for me, it's you need to figure out what you want. And I understand this in this case, Ram 130. I want you to win. I want you to succeed, right? So ask yourself a question. If this class is going to get you closer to that dream where you're making the money you want, then by all means take the chance. But if not, you need to find out how you can take whatever you know, whatever you enjoy doing, and create something that you can get to that next level. Not giving up. Don't. I got you, man. I got all of you guys on this scope. I got you. I've been there. We've all been in the same situation. Wondering where the money's coming in, being laid off. I've been there, right? Wondering what's happening. How am I going to eat? I've been there. I grew up like that for a minute. I understand what that's like. You guys got to understand. You got to get it. This is all coming from my experience. This is not just words I'm throwing out here just to try and be hyped and everything. This is experience. So I'm trying to share with you guys. So I want you guys to understand that. Faith, right? Steps. Yes, I agree with you. You got it, man. You got it. Okay, I gotta wrap this up. I gotta get out of here, but I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for giving me the inspiration to keep going. Thank you for the inspiration and the ability to, thank you so much for the sunglasses. I got sun in my eyes. But may God continue to bless your life. Oh, thank you so much, Corinne. Thank you, Ram 130. You guys can reach out to me. You got questions. Email. Periscope, of course. Email is info@abongeka.com. It is the same. You look at my user, my handle is just info@abongeka.com. You can go there as well. If you want a copy of my book, people who bought my DeLeon's, Tammy's gotten a copy. Some people on here have gotten a copy. I signed a copy. I autograph it to you directly. That's the email. Thank you so much, Lo, for sharing it. And that's where you can basically go to get it. And then after that, by the way, I got a new, yes, my dad has been on point. Yes, thank you so much, Destiny. I got an upgrade. So I upgraded the phone and upgraded the software. So everything's been gravy. And then, so the second thing too is if you want to get the site, I got our next collaboration. Yes, Christian. Christian's awesome. Christian interviewed me for his podcast. So you want to check out his podcast soon. It's called, No, It Ain't Free, Ram 130. I gotta pay for it somehow. Yes, Christian. I don't even play games. I don't even say it. I just block the dude. It is. You know why I want to talk about people. Like trolls and stuff. It doesn't bother me. I don't want to destroy the scope, and I don't want to have the scope messed up if I save it and repurpose it. So when trolls come in talking crazy, running their mouth, I actually feel sorry for them because it reminds me of It makes me think, what is constantly going on in that person's head, right? I know, I misheard you. Sorry. What's going on in that troll's head, right? Where he or she is coming on here and saying this. Like, what kind of movie are they living in? The mental movie they're living in that makes their lives so messed up that they feel like that they're gonna come on here and try and share and hurt me. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't matter. Like, if this person doesn't have the presence of mind to put their real name and real picture and real website and information, it doesn't make any. Why would I care? I literally laugh at trolls. So if they come on here and run their mouth, I can guarantee you they have no money. I guarantee you they're broke, they're poor. I guarantee you they don't like their life. They don't like what they're doing. They're not in relationships. They're not dating anybody. I guarantee you that much. I'm willing to bet 90% of them probably aren't. And they are dating. They don't like who they're with. And that's, so I feel sorry for those kinds of people. So yes, so I just block them and I keep it moving and it's whatever. But yes, Christian, you're right. But they're sad and depressed and sad. That's it. And they're trying to lash. They want to feel something. So rather than trying to feel good emotions, why not feel bad? Because it's easier to get to bad emotions than it is to get to good. That's how I look at it, man. Christian, reach out to me, man. Let's talk about, what we can collab on. Check out Christian. I think it's healthysuccess.co. That is, you aren't successful without haters. Exactly. I'm not successful without haters. Thank you so much, Ram 130. If you want to pick up a copy of my book, I sign it. If you get it from me directly, I sign it. You can get it from Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. If you get it from me, I will sign it and ship it to you. You go to startmeupbook.com. That is startmeupbook.com. Thanks so much, Neely. You're awesome, man. I said, man, I didn't mean to say that. It's startmeupbook.com. If you want a copy of the book. And I'm trying to think what else. That's about it. Stay tuned, guys. I'm just trying to do great things. I'm working on some self-development stuff and putting some self-development content for people. And thank you so much, Lo. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing that. Yes, I'm trying to put some self-development content together. I'm going to have I want to do like a live, like a webinar. Yeah, DeLeon, thank you so much, man. He ordered, DeLeon ordered a copy, and I signed it and sent it out to him. Exactly. And I'm working on putting together some self-development content. Be a whole online, like an online streaming thing. It'd be kind of cool. I feel like taking a warm bath. Man, I love Christian. All right, guys. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. I always say, as always, chances aren't given, chances are taken. So you got to be bold and go get it. Remember, work-life balance is bullshit. Get on your purpose. Find your purpose. Intersection of your gifts and your goals. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Lo, you are amazing. Love you too. I will see you guys later.